If you are tired of that cookie-cutter, plastic look that is so common in AI text to image generation, then today is your lucky day. We are welcoming the full version of Zimage, also known as the base model. Compared to the turbo model, this isn't just a simple version update, it is a return from quick generation to deep mastery. Unlike the turbo model, the base version is a non-distilled foundational model. It retains the complete training signals and supports fully functional CFG classifier, free guidance, and negative prompts. What you are seeing now is the Zimage base page on Hugging Face. Let's look at this model in detail. Its biggest feature is its emphasis on realism. For instance, take this group photo of a beauty in a dorm room. You will notice that people generated by Zimage Turbo look almost identical, but in the base version, every character has a very strong, distinct identity. Another very important aspect is negative prompts. Look at the image on the left. First, it depicts a Westerner, and second, there is a deformity in the arm. However, if we add Westerner and body deformity to the negative prompts, you will discover that the character transforms into an Eastern beauty, and the body deformity disappears. In the example below that, by adding the prompt sad, you'll notice the expression becomes significantly less sorrowful. We can say that the biggest improvement in this version is in realism. So, we designed 9 scenarios to test its authenticity. These 9 layers include facial close-ups of both stylized and realistic characters, general scene realism, interactive scene realism, lighting realism, still life realism, and the basic usage of negative prompts. Currently, ComfyUI officially supports this model. As you can see, this is an official blog post from ComfyUI showing some example images and basic model introductions. You can download the corresponding workflow here. You can also download the official Zimage base model provided by ComfyUI on Hugging Face. Please note, it is a BF16 version and the file size is 12.3 gigabytes. I have built the workflow on Running Hub, and you can access the platform through there. In the ComfyUI field, Running Hub is a fantastic online workbench because whenever new models or new extensions appear, they follow up immediately. You can register for Running Hub using the invitation link in my video description to get 1,000 free credits. Plus, logging in daily gives you 100 bonus credits, so you can try out your own workflows. Now, let's look at the specific workflow. The overall structure is identical to Zimage Turbo, except that we have swapped the model for the official base version provided by ComfyUI. The text encoder and VAE have not changed. Regarding sampling, please note the official recommendation is 30 to 50 steps. Although their sample workflow used 25 steps, I suggest you change it to 30. For CFG, they recommend 3 to 5. Here we are using 4.0. The official sampler provided is Re's multi-step, which is one we haven't used before. Now, let's look at the generation of specific scenarios. The first scenario is a facial close-up of a photorealistic beauty. Here, we can see she has beautiful makeup, and we can even see a moist, smooth sensation on her face. Pay attention to the depiction of the eyes and lips, they are stunning. Of course, many might say that most models are heavily trained and fine-tuned for photorealistic beauties. So let's look at other scenarios. The second scenario tests snapshot realism. This is a little boy blowing out a candle. In the prompt, we focused on describing the blowing action, the changes in facial muscles, and the smoke produced by the candle. You can see that the expression in the entire scene is very accurate. The third scenario is a facial close-up of an elderly person. Honestly, I think this model goes a bit overboard with the depiction of facial spots. If you emphasize facial realism and freckles in the prompt, some people with OCD might describe 100 freckles. The resulting facial effect actually loses aesthetic appeal. So, while it overperforms on spot features, hindering the realism slightly, the combination of wrinkles, beard, and eyebrows still feels quite good. Let's look at a general scene. This is a captured moment of a girl sitting by a creek, splashing water with her hand. You will find that the dynamic expression of this instant is very on point, including the character's expression and the state of the splashing water. Next, I defined an interaction scenario. The prompt focuses on a few things. First, a man riding a bicycle. Second, a hand holding a steamed bun and passing it to him. We specifically describe the middle finger holding the bun. The representation is very accurate. Additionally, we described wet dew on the flowers, and the form of the dew is also very precise. This next scenario is called lighting realism. You will find the overall feeling of light and shadow is beautiful. To demonstrate the realism, we made hair strands a subject here, including both distant hair and close-up macros. Both are rendered excellently. The skin texture and the layering of light and shadow show a huge improvement in quality. For still life realism, we focused on describing a tomato with dewdrops placed on a linen cloth. You will notice the texture of the cloth is rendered beautifully, and the shape of the dew is fantastic. Finally, let's test the effect of negative prompts. Take a look at this very long prompt. We detailed the actions and expressions of 3 girls. First, the representation is very accurate. However, in the initial generation, the ethnic characteristics weren't very strong. Some looked Asian, some Western. So we can add negative prompts. This is the result of our final image. In the negative conditions, we added Western girl, meaning we don't want Westerners. We got 3 Eastern girls, and the dorm environment looks realistic and not staged. If we change the negative prompt to Eastern girl, we generate 3 Western girls, and the environment shifts to a Western university dorm vibe. This proves that negative prompts are very effective in the base model. Some people might test CFG extensively, but I don't think it is that significant. For quick image generation, the positive prompts matter more. Through these examples, we've highlighted the characteristics of the Z-image base model. Of course, its biggest downside is the generation speed. It is too slow. You will find that using the BF16 model takes about 1 minute to generate. Compared to turbo mode, this is indeed much worse. However, we have certainly gained a significant improvement in quality. How you choose between speed and quality is up to you to weigh. That is all for today. What are you waiting for? Go ahead and try it yourself. Follow me to become someone who truly understands AI.